Okay, so we are back for another recipe today. Today's going to be another great soup that I decided to make because that's the mood today. So that's what we're going to do. All right, today we are making a vegetable beef soup. Pretty much everything's from scratch. The only thing that, I'm not taking the peas out of a pod, right? And I'm not growing my own corn. Everything else is extremely fresh ingredients, all right? So let's run all this down. This is what you're going to need to make this soup. And you can leave things out if you want to. This is just how I make it. So if you see this recipe and you're like, well, I wouldn't do that, just don't put it in. Simple as that. All right, so here we go. We got some beef broth here. We got three small cloves of garlic. We got some petite diced tomatoes. It seems like this is the only brand at the supermarket that I shop at that has petite tomatoes. Don't know if I'm going to use that whole can, okay? But we have what is it, a 24? What do we got here? And I can't see because I'm old. All right, 28-ounce can of petite tomatoes. Freshly chopped up parsley. We got a yellow onion. Up front here, we got some thyme and rosemary. Don't overdo it with the rosemary on this dish unless you really, really like rosemary. But I like to put it in just to get a little bit of flavor out of it. We got some russet potatoes here. Like I said before, we got frozen peas, frozen carrots, or frozen peas, frozen corn. I'm over here looking at the carrots. We got three, I'd say medium carrots, fresh green beans here, 3 stalks of celery, and we got some chuck roast up front. All right, that's all you're going to need for this recipe. If you guys like what I do, put a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and ring that notification bell and share this with your friends if you think that they would like vegetable beef soup. Okay, on with the first thing, cutting up the pot roast. All right, first thing is first. We are going to take our pot roast, and I'm going to grab a couple paper towels, and we're gonna dab this. Okay, because we are going to brown this, so we just want to get most of the moisture off this. Okay, it doesn't have to be perfect. Just got to get some of it off. Okay. All right. So now on with how I'm cutting this up. No secret, right? So about an inch thick, roughly. Really, you're only going down like bite-sized pieces on this, okay? So I'm going to remove the fat. I don't like a lot of fat in my food, so that's just what we're going to do. And it doesn't have to be perfect, like I said. Just if you just take your knife like this and just kind of pull it, like just kind of scrape it away like that, the fat will come right off this. See, it's just pull it. All right, just like that, and we just take our fat, we set that aside, and we're just gonna kind of get on to the next piece here, and that's what we're gonna do through the whole thing. All right, very simple. Again, bite-sized pieces, and I think that's where you want to be with a vegetable beef soup because it's not, big piece of meat like a pot roast. Okay, so let me put this over here. Now, for this particular dish, I like to do small cubes of beef. Okay, that's just me. If you guys want to do more or bigger, I'm all for that. Whatever you guys want to do, but this is kind of where I go with it. Okay, and then we're just gonna saute this down because we got a lot of things to put in. There's potatoes and all kinds of stuff, celery and onion and green beans and whatever. Okay, so there we go. That's how I'm cutting this up. All right, so there's our beef. I'm going to finish cutting up the rest of this, and then we're going to start searing this up. This should not be a long recipe, but I do say that in a lot of them, and they run long. But I just want to make sure I explain everything to you guys, especially the people that don't know how to cook. That's basically what I'm here for, is to show you exactly what I do. All right, let's get back over to the other side of the stove, get this cut up, get this meat seared. On to cutting up the vegetables. We're going to start with an onion first, okay? And I just peeled it. I cut off the bottom part. I left the root And all we're going to do is just go right down the center. Just set that side, one side away over there, okay? And then we're just gonna do this, and then we're gonna cut it in half. Now this, I actually want to be a dice, okay? Not a small dice, but not a large dice either, okay? Something like this. Not too big, not too small, okay? But this would be the easiest way for you guys to cut an onion. You can see that it's just, okay? So I got a lot of new subscribers and some new trolls. We appreciate that as well. Like, what is up with trolls? I don't get it. I don't get why somebody would just come to your page and just, I don't know, whatever. But you'll get a hobby. You do something. All right, so we're just gonna finish cutting up these onions. The other half of the onion. So we got one full onion. Okay. I wasn't ragging, just so you guys know. I was just, I don't know, just don't get certain things in life. All right, so we'll push these aside. No crying either with that, right? It goes too quick. I'm just going to show you how I cut up, how I do the celery. We'll push that aside. We're just going to, you know, if this is too big for you, you can cut this in half if you want to. So what I do is I just go basically just straight down the center, just like that. All right, so this is about, basically this is like a texture thing. So I only cut like, I only want to do maybe something like this. Okay, again, not too big, not too small, but you want to keep everything somewhat yeah, uniform, I guess. Okay, so it's almost like you're making bread dressing. And then your carrots, depends on how big they are. Like I said, I got three medium carrots. This one I am going to cut in half because I just think it's going to be safer. Okay, so do the same thing with this. And I'm actually going to cut these in quarters, okay, because I don't want a big piece of carrot. Plus they're going to cook a little bit faster too because they're a little bit smaller. All right, and we're going to do the same thing. So try to get your carrots and your celery all about the same, you know, same diameter, same size. Okay, do it. Okay, beans, green beans, fresh green beans. You'd be surprised how much more better that green beans are in a soup like this. You know, I would definitely recommend get rid of that one. So we're going to do bite-sized pieces here again. Okay, so about like that. All right, do that. Just bite-sized. There you go. Just like that. All right, that's how I cut the green beans up. And I think you guys seen me do garlic before, but we'll do another clove of garlic for you. And this is all right. I like to taste the garlic, so I don't mind a little bit bigger of a piece of garlic, something like that. This is all going to cook down too. You got to remember that. So don't be like all cranky if you if you think that that's too big or whatever. It's going to cook down. All these are going to sweat down. This is going to be delicious. All right, guys. All right, so just on to cutting up your potato. All right. Again, stay uniformed with this. All right, so this is going to be cut it in half, and then we're going to cut it in half again. Okay, just like that. And then we're going to cut it in half again. And then we're just going to do little bite-sized pieces like that. That's how I cut up the potato for this recipe. Okay, so we cut that like in thirds. You just want like a, you kind of want like a small dice. Okay, so that's how you cut up the potatoes. All right, so we got all our vegetables and everything cut up, and let's drop the meat. Let's get that seared off. All right, so the only thing I didn't show on my board when I did the ingredients was just a little bit of vegetable oil. All right, so we're gonna just take our meat that we cut up, add it to a hot pan with some oil, probably 3 tablespoons. Like I said, none of this really has to be perfect, so you don't really have to worry about that. It doesn't have to be perfect because it's rustic. Anything rustic is somewhat rustic. I'll make a rustic meal for you one day and show you exactly what the difference between the two is, and there is a difference. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to season these. A little pepper, a little salt. Alright, and then we're just going to, don't move them right away. You want to let them get a little bit of a crust on them. Okay, so we're going to start that. This is going to be about 5 minutes. I'm going to bring you back and show you exactly what this looks like when I'm done. We're going to add some stock to it and some rosemary and some thyme, and we're going to put a lid on it. We're going to let that simmer for about an hour, a little over an hour. Okay, hang in there. So on a medium heat, I dropped the onions in, put a little salt and pepper in them, and we're just going to let these go for a few minutes just until they become a little translucent. We don't want to burn them or nothing like that. So we're just going to go easy with these. All right, as soon as these are done, I'll take you back and bring you back, and we'll show you, I'll put the garlic in, and then we'll add the beef back in, and we'll do a couple other little small things, and that's it. If you think you need a little bit more oil in this, you could always put a little bit more oil in it as well. Just make sure you don't burn that. It'll give you a funky taste. So our onions are done being sweated down. We're gonna now add in our garlic. We're gonna let these go just until you start smelling this. Not anymore. You don't want your soup to have a bitter taste, and garlic tends to do that if you burn it. All right, because it releases a little compound called allicin, and that's not good for nobody. So you can add a little bit more oil if you think your pan's too dry, and then we're just gonna, as soon as you smell it, we're gonna add the beef back in. So you'll be able to get a break, do some more prepping if you want to after this, because this is going to be quick, or this is going to go for about an hour. All right, smell the garlic going now. That's about it for this. We're gonna call this quits. And those onions are going to cook down anyways, because it's going to be simmering for a while. Juice and beef back in. All right. Get this all mixed up, just like that. It's already seasoned, so you don't have to worry about doing that. And for now, we're going to put in one. And now what you want to do is turn your heat up as well. So we just want to simmer this beef for until you stick a fork in it and it's tender. Once it's tender, you can start dropping everything else. Okay, so there's one container. It's about 4 cups, but we are going to add more. Okay, and we're going to add in our thyme. We're going to add in our rosemary, just like that. Okay, push this down, get this to a boil, and leave it there for like an hour. Make sure you back off, and once it hits a boil, back off of it to about a simmer, and put a lid on it, and just braise that beef. Okay. Okay. So our soup has been simmering on the stove for about 1 hour. So an hour is the is the thyme here. Now the next thing that we're gonna do is we're just gonna take out all of our herbs that we can find. I'll throw these in the garbage disposal. So any little thing, you could see this stuff when you eat too, so if you don't get it all right now, that's okay. So I tasted this a little bit to see how tender that meat was or is, and I'll tell you, if you don't think that a chuck roast is worth your time and effort, you're kind of wrong. And I hate to say it like that, but you kind of are, because it's super tender. I also made a beef stew not too long ago, and the meat is extremely tender. I did an actual pot roast with like a red wine gravy and whatnot, and you can check those recipes out as well. Yeah. So the whole idea of the reason why I cut the beef like I did is because you want it bite size. So if you remember when I was cutting that, this is like super hot because it's been an hour, but you can smell that rosemary, you can smell the thyme. I mean, this is fantastic. So I was trying to see if I could show you how. I'll say it's just, it just falls apart. You probably can't really make it out or see it, but it's super hot. So we still got some time to go, but I cooked that until the meat is tender, okay? Because you still got another half hour on this, okay? Because you still got to drop everything else, and that's what we're going to do right now. I'm going to spin around here. I got all my. I should take stock in these paper plates. I use these. I probably go through 100 every 2 weeks. All right, so we're going to drop our carrots, and we're going to drop our celery, and we are going to drop our potatoes in as well, and we're going to drop our green beans in. Now, some people might disagree with putting all that in there at the same time. I like a little crunch to my stuff, right? So for me, like if the potatoes are tender, but the beans and the carrots got that little bit of crunch to them, I'm one of these people that are fine with that, because that's just the way I like it. Now, if you like everything super soft with no bite to it, then I would recommend you to put the celery and the carrots in first, maybe cook those for 15 minutes or so, and then I would add your potatoes and your beans. I would definitely do it like that. Okay, so as you can see, we need more liquid. It's a given. Okay, we knew that was going to happen. So we're going to add another until it's over the actual, because I don't like a dry soup, right? And that's all going to infuse all the rosemary and stuff that was in there. It's all going to infuse. This is going to be delicious. If you guys haven't had a homemade beef stew before, give it a shot. I mean, you can see, damn, that looks good. All right, so like I said before, I have a 28-ounce can of petite tomatoes. We're going to start with half, and then we're going to see where I'm at. All right, so that's about half. Okay, and I'm going to grab my spoon here, and we're going to kind of do this, right? All right, so that is the base for the soup. Now, if you think you need a little bit more stock, put some more stock in it. What we're going to do now is we're going to take this to a simmer, and we're going to cook this. I am going to put just a little bit of fresh parsley in as well. We might freshen it up at the end too. So that might not be all the parsley that we're going to put into this. All right, it's definitely, this is way better than your, I don't know, I hate to put things down, but better than your Campbell's or Chunky or whatever. All right, so here we go again. We're going to put this back on. We're going to boost up the temperature. We're going to get this to a little bit of a boil. And I'm thinking maybe 20 minutes. Then we're going to salt and pepper this. The only other thing I may do to this, I'll do it on camera for you guys so you could see, is mix up just a little bit of cornstarch. Because I don't want a gravy. I still want it to be a soup. But we may mix up a 1-to-1 ratio. 1 tablespoon of cornstarch to 1 tablespoon of water or beef stock. It doesn't really matter. But that's where we're at right now. So give me 20 minutes. All right, so here we go. This has been going for about 20 minutes. And it's looking good. Everything is right on schedule. Okay. Look at this. You can't get this out of a can, my friend. Look at all that. Okay. So we're just waiting on the potatoes. I got it in for maybe another 6 minutes. And I'm thinking that you guys maybe thought about, oh, geez, you know, maybe he forgot his other vegetables, his, right, his peas. We're going to throw a little bit of peas in there. Now, I'm going to try to write this recipe for everybody, but this is a recipe that's it's hard because it's one of those recipes that it's all in how much of what you like in it. Okay, does that make sense? So, you know, if I put 1/4 cup of peas in it, you know, you guys may like 1/2 cup or a cup, you know, or less beans in it or less potatoes in it. So it's going to be a generalized recipe when I write this. All right, so the peas are in there. So we're going to sprinkle in some corn. And then what I do, and I do the same thing when I do my whatchamacallit, my stew, okay? I add it all in, and then if I need more liquid, I put more liquid in, either more stock, or if I only need just a tiny bit of something, I will add just a tiny bit of water if I don't have, you know, a whole container of stock open. All right, now I know that this right now, I know that this is, there's probably not a whole bunch of flavor in this because I'm using low sodium, by the way, beef stock. So we're going to taste this. Oh, Jesus. Actually, I'm really surprised on how much flavor is in that, I have to be honest with you. But what we're going to do is we're just going to add a little pinch of salt. Remember, you can always add to it. You can't take it away, so go easy with it. And, you know, from my recipes, you guys know I'm a pepper guy. Not crazy pepper, just a little bit. All right, we're going to mix this up. Just like this. And then we're going to give it another taste. I might add just a little bit more liquid to this. We'll see. Not yet, though. Hold on. Hold on. Here we go. Here we go. Now, I'm just tasting this for salt and pepper. Oh, that is so good. And I'm also going to serve this with, because there's rosemary in here, I'm also going to serve this with rosemary and red onion crusty bread. It's going to be delicious. Okay, so now I think we're all set. The potatoes are tender. The steak or the pot roast is tender. The beans are delicious. Now, I did mix up a little bit of cornstarch here, okay? I'm only going to put just a tiny bit in because I'm not trying to make this a gravy, okay? All I'm trying to do is, and then see, it exactly did that. It's just kind of like dimming the color of this. Okay, so this is all I'm trying to do, and it worked. That's exactly what I was trying to do. That's what I usually do with this. Okay, just like that. All right, guys, I think this, and I probably used what, a quarter of a teaspoon of cornstarch and a quarter teaspoon of water. That's probably about it. All right, this stew is done. We're gonna go plate this up. Okay, hang in there. Okay, so we are ready to plate this up. This came out fantastic. All right, beautiful. This is really nice. It's colorful. It smells delicious. Everything about this soup is awesome, really. Okay. Move that aside. Geez, I made a hell of a mess, didn't I? Clean up my mess here. Clean that up. And we can't forget, where are we? Here we are. And we can't forget that I got a couple of pieces here of rosemary bread and butter. Rosemary and red onion bread and butter. So we're gonna just throw a couple slices here, and we're gonna throw a couple slices over here. All right, how good does that look? Eh? You got a fire going at night. You got a nice pot of soup. What more could you want? All right, so anybody out there likes beef rice, vegetable beef rice soup, it's better than anything you're gonna buy in a can. Get yourself some nice crusty bread, and that's it. That's how I do my vegetable beef soup. All homemade. You control everything in this recipe. You make this the way you want to. Okay, we'll be right back for a little bit of a taste test. Hang in there. Okay, so we're on to our taste test. One thing I forgot to do. I can't believe I forgot to do it. Not a big deal, but still can't believe I forgot to do it. Right? Well, yeah, a little bit of parsley. Make it look nice. Okay, so now here we go. Here's our taste test. Got some beef, some carrots. All right. Oh. Oh, God. Try this. I've had this rosemary bread before. Yeah. Everything here is so fresh. Because it's all real good ingredients, right? Got to do another one. Nothing like a fresh bowl of soup. Everything is so bright. You taste the carrots, the fresh green beans that are in there. The meat is so tender. The potatoes are great. Of course, the crusty bread is, phenomenal. All right, man. If you guys like this, like I said, go ahead, put a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel. Share this. Hit the notification bell. It's soup time. It's cold out. Make this. Get on the couch with a fire going. This is what you need. All right, guys. Until the next recipe, take care of yourselves, and I will be back next week.